All right, let's start. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you can hear me. Here we go. There's someone who answered here. Yes, we can. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Hey, Samir, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you, Ma'an, for helping. All right, so let's start. I hope you had a good week. And we will continue. This is our second webinar on the business survival kit. I'm excited and happy and appreciative of you joining us today. I'm planning to have a value-adding discussion for me and for you. This is the plan. So this time around, we will talk. Last time we had the survival checklist, top 10 points for the survival of the organization. And I put that on the YouTube, so you can go back and see that one. Today, we will talk about how to ensure my business will sustain. This is very important. We want to ensure our businesses sustain. We all want our businesses to sustain. When we do a corporation is an ongoing entity. It has its own identity, its own character. Nobody likes to see an organization fade away or to be under the risk of fading away. Organizations are ongoing entities. They were made so they continue. And I wish your organizations continue and prosper, not only continue. So let's talk about this. How do we ensure my business will sustain? What really matters to me when I research these subjects from what we do for clients and what I hear the experts worldwide talk about is focusing on simple yet practical and effective things. So everything we talk about here are simple, doable, practical, and they work. So how do we ensure our business will sustain? We will start today with, last time we talked about the winter season, how people might see this as the winter season for organizations. I'd like to talk about the definition of crisis. A good definition I liked says crisis is a stage in a sequence of events, at which the trend of all future events is determined. So crisis is a turning point and it sets a trend, and we want to see a positive trend. That's what we want to see from crisis. So crisis does not mean negative. It might feel negative at the moment, but usually it's a turning point for organizations. Now, when we talk about sustaining sometimes gives the impression that we're talking about maintaining a status quo. The truth is that sustaining cannot be today about maintaining a status quo, because there is no status quo anymore. There will not be a status quo. So we have the best way to sustain, everybody is saying, the best way to sustain is to embrace the new normal. This way you can sustain. Otherwise, there will be lack of acceptance, results in fear and frustration, and results in the inability to cope and the inability to sustain. So we have to embrace the new normal in order to sustain. So when we talk about sustaining, I don't want to give the impression that we're talking about going back to the old ways or to where things were before, because as we said last time, most indications show that this is not going to happen. So we have to embrace the new normal. This is what we need to do. Okay, so let's say we agree we want to embrace the new normal. So where do we start with embracing the new normal? A good formula that I saw from someone from a strategic coach that I really liked. He was talking this morning in one of his podcasts, and I felt it summarizes in a nice way a good starting point if we want to sustain. And to sustain, he said what we have to do is to do three things to start the sustaining process. Three things that we have to do. First of all, stabilize. When we say stabilize, means stabilizing the environment we're in, ensure that we are safe, healthy. You know, the first thing you check is the family, yourself, your well-being, your thoughts, how you're thinking, how you're breathing, and how you're taking this whole thing. So we need, first of all, to stabilize. That's step one. Without it, there's nothing else. You have to ensure you're safe, people around you are safe. This is step one. And then we move on to connecting with employees. This is very important. So after we stabilize, we have to connect with employees. Connecting with employees, there is more than one thing we need to talk about here. First of all, your employees need to be able to work from anywhere. Many companies were able to do this properly. Many think they are doing it, but they are not really. There has to be a structure. There has to be a framework. There has to be a platform where we talk. So just having the phone and WhatsApp is not really considered connecting. You need a platform where we feel we are working together, where we check in. For example, I think it's very important that people check in and people check out and people talk about what they are working on. It's important to have daily meetings, especially when we are remote. One of the toughest things about remote work is to identify issues and conflict, because you cannot see people. So it's very hard to tell if there is a conflict or not. This is very important. So you need to have a platform. Talk about my experience at Case in Point. Many companies now are going back to some capacity of work, some number of resources at Case in Point, until now, I'm not saying you should do this. So at Case in Point, we have refrained from doing that, actually. We are still working remotely as we found this is working for us, working remotely. What we are using currently, we are using a special configuration of Microsoft Teams that allows us to work on Teams, have a visual reflection of what an office is. We're working on this interface part. We have productivity and the check-in, check-out added. In addition to Trello, we added Trello to this. And this is the kind of setup that we have. And we added also something called the karma points, where we can give each other attaboys, they call them. So this is working nicely for us. Whatever platform you're using, if you're using Slack, if you're using others, there are quite a few out there, you know, but I shared with you what I'm using. Another tool that I really like that we are looking into using for us and for the clients in the future. Here, I'll share this with you. It's in beta, still it's very early. It's called Worker. I'll share it with you. This is one of my secrets, but it's okay, I'll share it. Let me see here in chat. It's very interesting too. I love its simplicity. It's called, here it is. Worker.io. It's simple. It gives you a feeling of an office, because Microsoft Teams can be overwhelming. Lots of places to go, lots of places, you know, there's the chat and there's the team area and there's this and there's that. And of course, we use also SharePoint in addition to connect employees. So connecting employees includes having the platform. Connecting employees also means talking to the employees on a regular basis. I do lots of impromptu meetings, usually on regular basis, but I've never had a situation where we meet daily. Since the beginning of the lockdown, we have been meeting with employees at a specific time in the morning every day. This is very important. Also to tell people they can come to you on a tangent and talk to you. Also sharing how you feel, the sentiment. Remember, when you are sharing how you feel, does not mean you don't want to send people spiraling into pessimism. So maybe when you are feeling down or abnormally uncomfortable, maybe you don't want to talk about that. But you need to show people that we are in control, confidence, being transparent, not being too optimistic where people think that everything is okay and nothing has changed. Make sure you keep pushing the point that things have changed, help people understand that things have changed. So connect with employees, ask them for ideas, ask them to help, ask them to be thinking with you about what we need to do differently. Very important. Connect with the employees. Many great ideas came from my team during the lockdown, and I'm really happy about that. Did everybody get the link here? I'll send it again because maybe I'm sending it to panelists only instead of also. I'll send it again. This is the link. All right. All right. So we need to be, as we said, we need to be connecting. We need to be sharing, get ideas from people. They'll give you ideas, make them responsible, make them feel accountable, etc. Finally, the last point is, and again, this is in order, stabilize, connect with employees, connect with clients is the third point. Connecting with clients means we talk to our clients, give them a call, get in touch with them, have a discussion. The discussion should never be at this stage about getting more business. It should not be about asking them some people are asking if I tried Google Meet. I have not tried it yet, but maybe I should give it a shot. Have the team look into it. So connecting with clients is not to ask for business, more to check on how the clients are doing. What do they need? Is there something you can help with? Let them feel that your company is an extension of their company. They can ask for help. Share how you feel. Share the challenges that you have faced. Ask them about their experience. Get the dialogue going. We did this also at Case in Point. I advise my clients to do this. Lots of good things come out of that. Sometimes good pivots come out of that also. Maybe ideas that you have not thought about, maybe tangents to your current offerings, etc. So in this order, this is an excellent point to start. You will get lots of good ideas. You will get lots of good support, and you will stay connected to the clients, which is very important. You stay connected to your employees, which is very important. So stabilize, connect with employees, connect with clients is an excellent starting point. Okay, good. So what else? Then what? Let's say we did that. So the important thing when we say we did that, just make sure you did it properly. Meaning, as I said, if you are connecting with employees on the phone, that is not enough. There has to be a platform. There has to be some sort of normalcy, structure, framework. If you connected with some of the clients, but not all the clients, you have not talked to everybody, you have not reached out. If it was only a formality when you talk to the client, hi, how are you doing, etc. There was no discussion, no talk. This is also a problem. So make sure you really connect. Then what do we do? Next step. Next step, we need to turn your company into an IT company. Even if you are in construction, even if you are a pharmaceutical, we need to turn your company into an IT company. Companies of the world must be IT companies to survive, to sustain. So now is the time, if you have not thought about this yet, is to turn into an IT company. And when we turn into an IT company, there are a couple of things we need to do. We need to digitize. We need to digitize our organization, which means I can work virtually just like I work from the office. No need for the office. Actually, we are planning to cut down on the office space that we are renting right now, because we feel that we need to continue working remotely. We will not stop working remotely. Even if the whole lockdown goes away, we will stop working remotely. We will not stop working remotely. We will continue to work remotely. We actually cut down our space by 50%. We save some rent on that, but that's not the main issue. The main issue is that we force the idea of digitizing our organization, so we are ready to embrace the new norm, as we said. This is very important. So part of it is digitizing the organization. Another part of it is digitizing the offerings, digitizing what you offer. I work with clients whose offering is very physical, like companies like real estate developers, like plants, manufacturing, like coaches. Everything can be turned into a digital offering. There are two things on the digital side that we can talk about. We can talk about the offering that you have, and we can talk about how you are reaching your client. And both of them are important. Both require digitization. Digitization today is key. And we will talk about that a little bit more. So we need to harness the power of technology. We need to digitize. So where do we go with digitization? There's also another line. One of my favorite, my mentor is Peter Diamandis, and he is also head of the Exponential organization, a group of consultants which we belong to. And he says, it's always about the who, not the how. I love this saying. It's always about the who, not the how. So when you are trying to do something, look for the who can do it, okay? Not the how to do it, because you will never have the time nor the capacity to do everything yourself. You have to find the who. This does not mean the who means a person, especially today. The who might be a technology. The who might be 3D printing, might be artificial intelligence. The who might be an expert who is sitting somewhere in South Africa or in South America. Even if you are in the Middle East, in Europe, in Canada. So you have to always look for the who, not the how. So if we are going to harness the power of technology, we need to look at the who. And that includes looking at exponential attributes, artificial intelligence, and automation. No business will be able to innovate or disrupt or even sustain if they are not working on these three: exponential attributes, artificial intelligence, and automation. So what do we mean by exponential attributes or exponential quotients? There's a book by Salim Ismail. I'll write the name right here. Salim Ismail wrote a book called Exponential Organization. Exponential organization talks about the disruption that is coming to the market in the future. And in it, he talks about 10 attributes that you need to have in your organization if you're going to disrupt, if you're going to sustain, if you're going to be able to live in the new normal. Of course, this book came out before the COVID-19, but definitely COVID-19 accelerated the need for this. It did not hinder it. Now here we have 11, but they are actually 10 plus a massive transformative purpose. Massive transformative purpose is the first thing you need to look at, because today we cannot be as companies looking for revenue generation. What we need to be looking at is value generation. To generate value, you have to have a massive transformative purpose, which means how do you serve your clients? What value are you offering the client? It's not about how you are turning the value into money. It's about how you are serving the client, and money is not an issue. Massive transformative purpose, you can read about it online, of course, or in the book in Exponential Organization. How do we do that? We serve the client. If we're going to disrupt, we need to start using staff on demand, which means employment in its old sense is gone. You don't need employees anymore. The freelance revolution is already there. There are experts out there you can hire and work with. They don't have to be on your staff. This is staff on demand. If you look at, if you are using freelancer.com, if you're using upwork.com, all of these are examples of staff on demand. There is also another important point here in the exponential attributes, which is community and crowd. Community means you create communities where you and your ecosystem talk. So look at the ecosystem that you are in, create platforms that allow you to talk to your suppliers, to your clients, to other people who serve in the same. So if you are in the pharmaceutical and you are in the, let's say a plant, you might have a platform that talks to pharmacies, that talks to doctors, that talks to nurses, etc. And provide a service and a way for people to communicate in this area. When we talk about algorithms means being able to analyze data. We will talk more about that. When we talk about leveraged assets, it means that don't try to use only the assets that you have, like the physical location. It's that's your asset. You know, if you have an office, try to leverage other people's assets, other people's servers, other people's equipment, etc. Good examples of that is, for example, Airbnb. How they are actually leveraging the assets. Every house in the world can be used as an Airbnb room. So they are leveraging assets from everybody and using them, you know, instead of the brick and mortar assets like the Marriott has or the Hilton has, etc. So leverage other people's assets. Engagement, I'll go through these quickly because you can always go back and read about them. Engagement means you have to engage the ecosystem. Get people excited about the massive transformative purpose that you have, give them a platform where they can talk and engage them. Now, these are all points 2 to 6 are external, looking outside at the market, looking at the customer, etc., looking at the community, the ecosystem. Points 7 to 11 look inside the organization. So you need interfaces where that allows you to share data, share information. So you need systems, interfaces. You need dashboards so you can see how we are doing. If you have a new idea, how is it affecting you? If you want to see financial dashboards, you want to see process dashboards, you want to see customer related dashboards, etc. Many people are using that already. Experimentation is key. The important thing in experimentation is, first of all, not being afraid to make a mistake. Second, to do the experiment fast. So nobody knows where the truth is. So the important thing is that we try the agile way. We try something, we do it fast, like in 1 month. For example, platforms right now, we're talking to clients where we need to see a platform in 1 month. You have to see the value. It doesn't have to be complete. You can start with a minimum viable product. So you experiment for 1 month, look at the results, learn from it, and then do another iteration, do another sprint. This is very important. Experimenting and not being afraid to fail. Autonomy means autonomy. There are lots of examples on autonomy, but some of them are related to giving people who work for you the autonomy to move, to innovate, to do stuff, and give them a platform or a structure to work from without really having stringent, let's say, business hours or stringent rules for them, like Uber, for example. You know, people who join Uber, they have a platform where they can work and get clients, but they have their own working hours. Finally, social technologies. Social technologies allow your employees and team to talk together. So like we talked about Microsoft Teams, talked about Slack, we talked about EPMs, Enterprise Project Management dashboards and tools, talked about strategy-related tools that you can use. All innovation worldwide, all disruption will come from these 10 points and from having a massive transformative purpose. Now, just like we did, probably if you go in and try these and experiment, you will start having derivatives from these that you might find work faster for you or for your industry. I'd like you to share if you try some of these and they work for you, please tell me. For example, we went back and developed a tangent from this that includes 6 points that seemed to work for our clients fast. Out of these 10, we came up with 6 derivatives out of these that work very fast in getting clients results quickly. So you need to experiment with these and see what works for you. These are called the exponential attributes. If you look at any disruption worldwide, whether you're talking about Amazon, Airbnb, Uber, whoever comes to mind, XPRIZE, you will see that their disruption was in these attributes. This is it. Very good. The second point is artificial intelligence. Regardless of where you are working, which industry, artificial intelligence is already part of it or will be part of it very soon. There are things we never imagined we can do with artificial intelligence. Always artificial intelligence was something like science fiction, but it's happening now and very easily. If you are watching Netflix, you are using artificial intelligence. If you're using Amazon, you're using artificial intelligence, and they are using artificial intelligence. I just looked at a new concept that's coming out. It's either out now or about to come out that actually helps you choose the connections on LinkedIn that will make most value for you based on your behavior on LinkedIn. Imagine. So there is artificial intelligence that helps you recruit. There is artificial intelligence that looks at your data. You know, more and more now, you can just throw raw data at artificial intelligence and it can give you some what we call unlearned results. More and more, this is moving really, really fast. Artificial intelligence is now learning on its own. In 2029, you will have an AI that you can talk to, not like you talk to Alexa, but actually have a deeper conversation. This is according to Ray Kurzweil. In 2026, it is expected that it will be illegal for a doctor to diagnose without first having a diagnosis from AI, because AI is much faster. Remember, we talked about the who, not the how. The artificial intelligence will become your best expert. Quick processing, objective independent learning, and it will give you reliable results, and it will learn from these results, which is very important. There is no industry that I can think of that will not benefit from artificial intelligence or not already benefiting from artificial intelligence. This is not something for the future. It's already happening now. You need to look into it. Predictive analytics is also related to the artificial intelligence part. In predictive analytics, it means if you have not started collecting data, you have to start collecting data at your organization. If you have not started analyzing data using predictive and data analytics tools, you should start doing this. Without predictive analytics, companies will not be able to survive. So make sure you start experimenting with this, with the predictive analytics parts. It's very important. I think very soon hiring without predictive analytics is going to be impossible. There are tools now that help you actually predict how well you will do in your hiring, how well a new employee will do, etc. So these are examples of things that actually work. People are using them now. We talked about the where to start. We talked about starting with stabilization, connecting to your employees, connecting to the client, and we talked about going into artificial intelligence, talked about the exponential attributes, and we talked about the predictive analytics and artificial intelligence, as we said. So with predictive analytics, where to start? We have a question here, excellent question. I'll advise you to look at one of the simplest tools I've seen for predictive analytics, and it's a good place to start. There's a tool called it's actually a platform that is out there, Spanish UK platform. I'll find it in a second. I will send it to you. But there is a platform online that requires minimal programming, and you will be able to do data analytics. Of course, IBM Watson is out there. You can use it. It has many uses. Take a look. It's really interesting. Actually, now on IBM Watson, you can give the handle, the Twitter handle of anyone, and it will give you a psychological analysis of their performance and try to predict their behavior. So IBM Watson is one of them, but there is another one. I should know them. Anyways, I forgot what it is. I'll remember it and send it to you. Okay. All right. Now, the one thing that will not help you sustain is to wait for things to normalize and go back to working as usual. That will not work. That's not going to happen. I'll tell you this, there is a technique that companies are using, and it's working. It's all about the attitude and the mindset. There's a technique that says for companies now, the next 100 days are going to be the most determinant of the future. The next 100 days, how we handle ourselves in the next 100 days might determine the future of an organization. So this is a chance, this is an opportunity. Listen to people who are talking about opportunities, who are looking at this in an objective fashion without fear. Fear is crippling. So we cannot start from fear. We cannot start from why I cannot do anything, or starting from problems. Problems we should start from because there is a solution out there and we have not found it. So that's an opportunity. Another question, I agree in decreased office space. Don't you think this will affect the economy? Now, I see your point. Many people also say with artificial intelligence, also this will affect the economy. There will be lots of unemployment. Let's see, this is the way things go. Things have to move on. The world has faced dilemmas and situations and disasters bigger than this. It has faced also disruptions previously. I mean, when electricity was created, lots of candle makers went out of business. But Procter & Gamble did not. And they were really soap and candle makers. So will it affect the economy? Yes. But if you are providing value out there, you will do fine. Now, if you don't want to get into this technology thing, I believe there is a niche for a specialty, very special items. We're not saying that there will not be a need for the human elements. What we're saying is that the human element is going to be needed to ensure that we program all this technology and we work with all this technology to get answers. So I think the workforce of the future needs to be familiar with how to work with artificial intelligence, how to work with data, how to work with technology. And I believe there will always be exceptions that humans will have to deal with. But the routine work, all of it is gone. All of it is gone to the machine, definitely. And I think this is for the betterment of the human race. And I think we cannot stop it. It's coming. It's inevitable. You know? So whether we think it's supposed to be this way or not, this is coming. This is what's happening. This is a quote, I forgot who talked about this, related to automation. With robots and process automation. Automation is key. Again, just like artificial intelligence, everybody will be touched by automation. This is a saying I keep repeating and I really like. It says, the factory of the future will have only one person and one dog. The dog is there to prevent any human from touching the machine, and the human is there to feed the dog. So automation is key. If you want to be the person handling the exceptions, I think there is room for that. It's very small room. For example, the sword makers in Japan who make the really specialty swords, you know, there will always be room for that. So if that's where you want to be, you're not worried about growth, about scaling, you just want to do these swords, that business will live on. But other than that, we have to be involved in technology, we have to be part of this automation, the move to automation, if we're going to sustain as organizations. Okay, we have Bilal here sharing some tools, data analytics tools like RapidMiner. Thank you, Bilal. RapidMiner, Alteryx, Datamation. Thank you for sharing these. I'm still trying to remember the one. There are, of course, also languages you can use. I will remember before we finish the name of the platform. Very simple platform to use. We'll get back to it. Thanks for sharing, Bilal. So automation is definitely a big thing in the future. Any process, all processes of the organization are going to be automated. There is always room for the human element, but you have to look into the automation part. So automation is also key. Now, how do we put all this together? What we are doing now with clients is we're starting with what we call the Exponential Blue Ocean Workshop. We have actually tried to bring it closer to people now by calling it the Go Digital, a Go Digital strategy. Because lots of what we do in the Exponential Blue Ocean is Go Digital. You need to sit down and do a roadmap on how you will digitize your organization, your offerings, how to work with platforms, how to bring your organization into the new reality. Put a roadmap for that. Don't make it a long roadmap, make it a one-year roadmap. In that roadmap, you must have specific value-adding results every single month. What do I mean by value-adding? I mean, you have to be out there with the client or out there with your employees with us. For example, if you say, in the first month, I will document the processes. In the second month, we will launch them. That's not what we are talking about as far as bringing value monthly. Bringing value monthly, a better way to do it is by saying, okay, we are going to put down the processes and automate them for the HR department, and this will be out this month. Next month, we will do this for this department. Or next month, we're going to go to our clients and start using this. The next month, we're going to deploy a tool, etc. So every month, there has to be a value that comes out, and so we can learn from it. So in your roadmap, monthly roadmap, don't create half-done jobs because they're useless. Create a full value job that you can give. So this way you will have 12 milestones of value that will progressively elaborate and build your organization into producing from usually 2 to 20x, but we have seen examples of 100x with clients, and we're talking about now during COVID-19, not only before. This is currently happening. So here is our checklist. We're going to stabilize, connect with employees, connect with clients, apply the exponential attributes, apply artificial intelligence, and apply automation at our organizations. If you start with the first three, I promise you, you will see value from the connection. I promise you. Now, be careful not to turn this into, the first three, don't turn them into a gloomy situation where we are just talking about the negative aspects. And don't turn them into a sales pitch. If you don't do this, you do it as a connection, hear each other, try to help each other, you will see value from these definitely. Exponential attributes, we always do this with clients, and always there is value, always there is value. Same thing with artificial intelligence. and with the automation. This is our checklist for today's session. At any time you feel you need help with any of this, we are more than happy to help. We are offering at this period free consulting sessions for any organization that asks for it. Here's the email. If you would like a free consultation session to talk more specifically about your organization, how we can do this for your organization, please get in touch with us. The upcoming webinars, we will talk more about important subjects. Next Thursday, we will talk about what should your business look like in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. I talked about the 100-day rule. So the next 3 months are really crucial. So next Thursday, we're planning to talk about what should your business look like in 1, 2, and 3 months from now if we are progressing in the right direction. The webinar after that, on the 18th, will be about what to expect from your employees during COVID-19. I hear lots of frustration from employees and from business owners, and lots of miscommunication and wrong expectations. So this is a very important subject. We'll talk about it. The one after that, we'll talk about what are the best tools and techniques to digitize the business. It's all about digitization now. So what are the best tools and techniques that will help you digitize? You can stay in touch for more tips. If you like this or you feel somebody might benefit from it, we're going to post this on LinkedIn, on Case in Point Consulting, also on YouTube, and we will have it also on our blog on our website, Case in Point Co.